Hello, hello, Mabuhay East Coast Filipino Portal. Thank you for having us again Thursday night. My name is Tanya Matthews. I'm a supervisor with pre-employment and bridging programs at ISANS. ISANS is one of the largest immigrant serving agencies here in Nova Scotia, Canada, on the East Coast. So thank you very much for having us. Good evening to all who are joining in this evening and who are already in the East Coast. As well as whenever you get the chance to watch this live recording of tonight's presentation. So hello, good evening, good morning, good day, and you're more than welcome to listen in on our information we would like to share with you tonight. So we have been coming to you live on Thursday evenings for quite a few weeks now, and have had the chance to talk about many different programs and services offered by ISANS. And I would just like to welcome back Denise Scott, who was here actually last week presenting on community services within our organization, as well as Moja Alia, who is the manager of the employment and bridging programs. So just to let you know that tonight format is going to be a little bit different. In the past, we have come to you with a specific program or service we wanted to talk about and presenting on information that's relevant to it. But tonight, we would like to do it more, maybe a little bit differently, more like a question and answer type of a period. So if you are joining us live this evening, feel free to say hello, say hi, say good morning, say good evening, wherever you are right now watching us. And don't be shy. Post any types of questions you may have. To be honest with you, we'd like to talk to you about everything and anything. If you're immigrating and already in the process of coming to Canada, if you're already here and not really sure what you can gain by participating in ISANS services, if you're just thinking about maybe going and living in Canada somewhere, we are happy to tell you why you should pick Nova Scotia, because it is one of the best provinces, I can guarantee you that. And we can tell you all the reasons why we think that Nova Scotia is a beautiful place to settle and to live, and not just as a single person, but if you're coming to Nova Scotia as family as well. Again, my name is Tanya Matthews, and actually I'm immigrant myself. I have been in Canada now almost 24 years. I actually came to Canada as a refugee, as a government-assisted refugee. So process for me may have been slightly different because I was processed overseas. Means that I started receiving services even before I arrived to Canada. I knew that Canada, that Halifax, Nova Scotia was my destiny. That this is where I was going to settle. So I was able to start utilizing some services. I was started practicing my language, English language, which was very low, by the way, when I came to Canada, and things like that. So we definitely want to talk to you about also services you can access before you even arrive to Canada. So again, feel free to post any questions. Let us know that you're listening. Let's say hello. And if you do have any questions, there is no wrong topic, no wrong question. We'll be happy to answer. For starters, I would like if Denise and Moja can also introduce themselves.
Yeah. Go ahead, Denise.
Hi, everyone. My name is Denise Scott. I'm pleased to welcome again and be here again. So I'm the supervisor with the Community Integration Services team at ISANS. So big part of that team is a lot of the community outreach-based programming, but also internally as well. If you are newly coming to ISANS and registering with ISANS as a client, our intake services are also located within that team as well.
Thank you. And I am Moja Alia, as Tanya said, and I manage the employment and bridging programs at ISANS. And my story is similar to Tanya's story. I'm an immigrant myself. I came as well back like 24 years ago, which is interesting. And I have been with ISANS for the past 23 years. So it's a long history. Although we came as entrepreneurs when we first arrived to Nova Scotia, it was really very clear to me that entrepreneurship is not for me, maybe for my husband, but not for me. And that's why how I started volunteering at ISANS when it used to be called MISA. And through volunteering, I reached my goal, and I got in love with this organization because I saw the value of the services offered through iSense. iSense, it is a community organization in every mean, which means that they really care about the community, they care about the well-being of immigrants, and they want us to be successful and happy in Nova Scotia. So uh, I started by volunteering. I volunteered full time for almost 10 months. And that's why how I started getting into roles at iSense, from program assistant to employment counseling to leadership and management. And now I feel that I can give more to the community and to immigrants and to Nova Scotia and Canada. So you can do it as well. Thank you.
That's right. So whatever your background, whatever your education, whatever your previous experience with living in different countries or in different cultures, ISANS doing successfully settling in Nova Scotia and anywhere in Nova Scotia, not just in Halifax. Halifax is one of the major cities, one of the larger cities, even though it's not very, very big city. I think the latest numbers say that there is about 650,000 population in the broader HRM, Halifax Regional Municipality. So it's not a very big city, and the province in itself is not very populated. There is lots of places to go and enjoy. We are right on the East Coast, enormous amount of beaches and lakes to visit. We can certainly talk about climate, summers versus winters, and things that you can expect here. Denise, actually, Denise is Canadian. She was born here in Nova Scotia, East Coast. She's our Cape Britainer. And
I can
one of the
correct on
things
that
you
a little
learn.
bit. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I am born on the East
because
Coast, but
right, you
yeah,
were born
yeah.
somewhere else.
But I was born,
Do
actually, I was
correct
born in
me.
another province, but no, I can certainly contest to that too, of being raised completely in Nova Scotia now.
That's right.
But
Sorry, I
no,
completely
yeah.
forgot. Yeah,
No,
New
that's
Brunswick,
fine.
right?
That's fine. So, as Tanya said,
Um,
it's a
but
beautiful
was a
climate.
great,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
think,
lots of
Tanya, what
places
you're,
to visit and see. And go ahead.
no, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, lots of places to visit to see, but you said that there's a lot to be able to do. There's still a lot of rural communities as well too, and big city as well. But what's nice is it's a nice balance between being a city, but not too big that you get lost within that. That people are still very outgoing, so people are still
Yeah,
very friendly of that. There's lots to do and see and to become involved in. Yeah.
And I just
yeah.
want to
And
share that
Halifax has,
one of the main reasons as well that I came to Nova Scotia was universities and colleges.
Yes.
And Nova Scotia, if
right.
you have children who are going to school or university or college, Nova Scotia is so rich. We have 13 campuses for the community college. We have a number of universities, excellent universities, and one of them is Dalhousie University, which is one of the best, and St. Mary's University, Mount St. Vincent University. So even if you are an international graduate or international student who wants to study in Nova Scotia, it's an amazing place to be at.
Yeah, very much so. It's actually the largest populace in the country for
Correct. And
universities in
that's
one
just,
spot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's just three universities in the city. There is two other major universities within an hour drive from Halifax. So we are very rich with student population. And actually, maybe we can talk about what are some of the services that we offer to internationally trained
Mm-hmm.
professionals. And actually, let's talk about new graduates, students who are immigrants themselves potentially, and who are graduating from some of our universities. What are some of the things that they could do, or services they can receive from ISANS?
Yeah. Well, there's such a variety of services with that. I think we should also look at the piece of if you're an international student and you're just, and correct me if I'm wrong, if it's at least within 6 months of graduation, but also post graduation as well too. There's always that misconception that there isn't necessarily services able to be offered, and certainly they are. So
Mm-hmm.
something to keep in mind, it could be very well from like business counseling, business training, professional mentorship-based program, professional practice program as well too. So these are programs such as, there's also in terms of career development and looking into work, into counseling as well too, because of post-graduation, either you're planning just prior to graduation or you've just postgraduate and now you're looking and seeking into your field of profession. Or maybe you're deciding
Mm-hmm.
there's based on that education that you want to move into also business as well too. So there is those options as well there, but there is also language-based programming as well.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
What about new graduates who are looking for jobs?
So, like with new graduates, definitely, like as Denise said, we prefer, of course, to know them before they graduate. So, if they are like in a few months before graduation, this will give them a
Right.
great time to meet with an employment counselor, like work on their resume, prepare for job search, like for their job search process, attend workshops. The great thing with COVID-19 that everything is available online. Like all our programs and services are available live online. So it could be a workshop with a facilitator and you will be there for 3 hours, but you will learn so much during those 3 hours. The other thing that there are so many programs that are self-study where you can just complete job search preparation online. We work very closely with employers. So one of the main things that we could help you with, if you are an international graduate and you want to stay in Nova Scotia, through employment counseling and job development and getting you prepared and ready, we can connect you with employers. Of course, we are not guaranteeing that you will end up with a job, but we can easily connect you with employers in your field. We are not aiming at getting you into a survival job. We look at what is your field, what is your education, and how can we connect you to employers. Plus, our employment counselors are very much aware of all the supports and the programs available through the Nova Scotia government, like opportunity to graduate or other programs where you can get in and gain experience. And once you gain experience, you can apply for permanent residency through different methods. So it's really crucial for you to connect with ISANS, start on your pathway with an employment counselor, learn more. Like if you need additional language training, you will be able to access it. If you need to learn more about community integration, you will be accessing services. If you want to get into business, you will have a point or a place to start. The only thing that you have to get to the start point, and once you are in the start point, you will get an action plan developed. All of those steps will follow.
So Denise, how can I become an iSense client?
Yeah, but I am going to share my screen if that's okay with everybody, and I'm just going to pop up to our website. Give you a kind of a sense and a feel. So, in terms of when you're first arriving, well, I shouldn't say first arriving. Let me correct myself. If you're prior to coming to Canada, but you are thinking of coming to Nova Scotia, or if you're in a situation that you're already within Canada and you're planning to come to Nova Scotia, or you're already here in the province, one of the ways that certainly that you can register as us is viewing our website. And on our website, we do have an area called Getting Started at ISANS. So if in selecting Getting Started at ISANS, so all new individuals or families that come to ISANS, unless they are government-assisted refugee, do come through into an intake, and that could be through a general intake or within Canada, but also in terms of our SOPA and pre-arrival-based programs through Nova Scotia Start, SOPA, as well as AIP. If you're coming through directly through our website, if you're going through the Get Started at ISANS on the far left and clicking on and completing a form, and I apologize, sometimes it's a little bit slow, it'll kind of prompt you
That's
through
okay.
how you're planning to arrive, and also what documentation that you have prior to arriving. Have you applied yet? Do you have a letter of nomination? Have you already gained those pieces? All those key areas are all listed here. What to keep in mind is if you have not yet accessed services at ISANS, you can do so by clicking. There's a little click box here. I'm hoping to make that a little bit of a bigger button, but saying click here, and it'll guide you to an online sign up form. So that online sign up form is a basis form to put a bit of general information, and I'll actually open that up for you. But some general information that helps guide when you're first setting an appointment with what we call an intake counselor. An intake counselor is a person that will be meeting with you, and we are able to offer that via distance. So we can do that online with you, we can do that via phone, and we can do that also in person as well at our office. But giving some general information about yourself. So you would apply as yourself and sign up in that way to book that appointment, and someone will be in touch with you in 48 hours to book that appointment time with the counselor. You will also be prompted to upload some of your documentation as well too, as I mentioned previous. If you are arriving not only on your own, but potentially with a spouse or other family members or adult dependent children, they are also asked to complete this as well too, and that appointment will be made for them. I'm going to go back to that main page as well too, though, is as I mentioned, there's not just one way in terms of intake. So if you're pre-arrival, so you are not yet, coming, you put the application in and you were intending to come to Nova Scotia, what does that look like? If you are looking on the employment side, you could certainly do that through SOPA. You could also do that if you're looking at the broader sense in terms of Nova Scotia and getting that orientation through our Nova Scotia START program, which you can sign up here for as well. But yeah, we certainly do, and I just want to show you the SOPA here. So SOPA is one of our online settlement-based programs as well too for pre-arrival, which you can click here for the Arrive Prepared. So if you're looking more in the focus of employment driven, you can be looking at this piece as well. So yeah.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Denise. Sorry, I seem to be being kicked out from time to time. The internet tonight is not really cooperating, so if you lose me, don't worry.
That's okay.
And I've been also posting a little bit on Facebook. So again, if you guys are listening to us, say hello. Don't be shy. Ask any questions you may have. We'll be happy to answer. So thank you. So intake is pretty much straightforward, either from our site, as you can see it following down below. If you go to www.isans.ca, there is a very clear intake button, and it's a good starting point for anybody who would like to start the process with ISANS and find out what are all the different services that you may be eligible for.
Can I?
Oh, go ahead, Moja. Yeah.
No, I just want to add another thing about pre-arrival services and what's the benefit of starting pre-arrival.
Yes,
we have
please.
we have been working with so many clients for the past more than 25 years now in my case. But reality that what we noticed, if you are receiving the services pre-arrival, you are like much more ready than anybody who arrived and who did not access the services. What I mean, like if you will learn everything about how do I look for a job, you will learn about like Nova Scotia in general and what the environment looks like. You will be able to collect all the documents you need to get into your field without delay. Whenever you arrive and you recognize once you arrive that, oh my God, I am a nurse and I really need to go back to my university to get all those documents in a sealed envelope and I want to send them, it takes time, it takes money, it takes lots of effort, and it will delay the whole process for you, whether you are in a professional occupation or non-professional occupation. Sometimes even high school diplomas are very crucial for you to even get into your school or university. So instead of delaying any process towards you settling in the province, this is the best way to start. If once you hear from either the province, whether through Nova Scotia Office of Immigration or through IRCC, if they say you are eligible, start, please. Once you receive this one page or like that says you are accepted to arrive to Nova Scotia or PEI or New Brunswick or Newfoundland. I'm talking Atlantic wise because we want you to come to the Atlantic region. But once you do that, you will get like you can start receiving all kinds of support services. And we are planning to do a research, and we will find out what we are finding out, that people who start the application process or start preparing before arrival and who access all the supports, and they are keen and committed to completing all the pre-arrival support services, they get jobs sometimes even the second week of their arrival. We had situations with clients who had an employer waiting them at the airport because they were offered the job and they wanted them to feel welcomed and interested in the province. So if you are pre-arrival, please do. If you are not and you are expecting your family or any member of your community to arrive, let them know about our services and start early.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
a really good key point, Moja, is starting early. As you said, there's so much benefits to doing that because you can arrive and you arrive prepared. You have that information. So in going back into that intake component of being able to do that settlement plan and being able to not only do the settlement plan, but be able to guide through what those programs and services you can connect to early on and get things started early, whether it's just for yourself or for your family as a whole. And the other thing is too is that, you know, certainly like one of the other programs that we haven't mentioned a whole lot is, you know, there's so much that is pre-arrival, but also within Canada. But even in terms of just thinking, what are the things that I need to expect in terms of arriving at Canada? So that orientation-based program as well too, which again can be offered via distance and online, of what is it like living in Nova Scotia? What are the things I need to consider? What are the laws and regulations? What's the education system? What about my family and my kids? How am I getting them integrated and involved in things that are going on there? And there's all those kind of key components. So it's really important to start earlier than later if all possible, because you can come a lot more prepared. Mm-hmm.
Tanya, are you?
Yeah, definitely learning about all those things, and many questions we get around education, school system.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely have a very good system. We talked about universities, but our elementary, junior high, and high school system is very good. We have both public and private educational system, whichever is something that you prefer or suit you. Parents are more than welcome to get involved in their children's education, and it's actually quite uh, um, it is actually quite encouraged. And so healthcare is a big one, lots of questions around there. And then also questions around places to live, renting versus owning, buying your first place, your first house, and so on. So lots of different information you can get through those orientation sessions, or simply by having a conversation with either your intake counselor, your settlement counselor, your employment counselor. We are all very happy to share the most common practices, what we have seen other immigrants do, and what are definitely successes. When we were talking, Moja, you mentioned nurse. Do you mind talking a little bit more about other what else somebody who, let's say, is a nurse or an architect or engineer, somebody who has good education, has a number of years of experience in their country, maybe even known and very established professional in their country, what can they do when they come to Canada? Can they assume that they will be working in their profession? Or many immigrants actually worry that they will not be able to work in their profession. They have to take any entry or beginner types of jobs when they arrive to Canada.
Thank you, Tanya. So this is, of course, we know that in Canada there are two different types of jobs. There are occupations that are regulated, which means that you have to become licensed to work in the field. And that entails like having to write exams, maybe complete additional training, etc. But if you start early and if you get a chance to to learn about the pathway to licensure if you are in a regulated occupation, like, for example, nurses. If you are a nurse and you want to come to Nova Scotia, it's really important to learn about what do I need to do to become a nurse in Nova Scotia early on. So, for example, at ISANS, we offer a nursing program, an orientation nursing program, and there are 18 nurses who are joining us from different countries to learn about, like, how can I prepare for my nursing exams, etc. We also can talk about there are programs for physicians. There is a program for pharmacists, for dentists, for accountants, engineers, name it. Many of those programs are available pre-arrival. We are offering them online. People are learning about, like, what is required for me to pass the exams. They are going through nursing sessions. Like, we are not claiming that we are educators, but we are using subject matter experts who can support you and who can offer some preparation for you to write exams. And the other thing, because of those programs that could be expensive, it could take some time for people uh, to pass the exams and just start practicing. We have a loan program, and this loan program is available in the Atlantic region. We are working with 6 other organizations across the Atlantic provinces, and wherever you are living in the Atlantic region, you can access this loan program. The loan, try to apply early and start your licensure process early. If you are delaying till you make some money and save money, and then, like, lose 2 or 3 years of your life saving money to write exams, you are losing touch with your profession. You are losing experience, and employers will be looking at you as someone who has been out of practice. And being
Yes.
out of practice in the healthcare field is very dangerous and not really healthy. So that's why you have to start early. Even looking, when you are even accessing the services, what we try to do is to connect you to a healthcare related job while you are doing the exams. For example, a pharmacist could be doing a pharmacy technician or a pharmacy assistant job. They are writing the exams, preparing for it, but they are learning about the Canadian pharmacy system, and they are better prepared to learn to pass the exams. If you are a nurse and you start as a continuing care assistant or personal care worker, you are in the patient's centered care, and you understand the culture in the Canadian environment, which will prepare you also for your final licensure. So whether you, as I said, whatever your profession is or your occupation is, talk to us. We have programs. We have programs, as I said, for engineers where you can show your competency on the job with an employer. We have programs for trades clients who are doing amazing, and they are going through the apprenticeship levels one after the one, and they are making really great money through the trades.
Right.
We Exactly, and as well as accounting and finances, etc., etc. So there is no occupation that you could say, I'm not going to go to ISAS for this. We can work with you on your needs, whatever they are.
Right.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, Moza. If I can just comment on that, because I have personal experience. When I came to Canada, I had a veterinarian diploma. So I was already working with animals, and it's a regulated profession in Canada. But at the time, also, my language was very low. So I was thinking maybe I'll just focus a little bit on learning language. I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll go back to school. And before you know it, I was out of practice, and it just didn't make sense for me to return back to that field, and I completely changed the field. So starting programs pre-arrival is a huge benefit to anybody in these professions, as well as being sort of focused on, if this is your occupation, if this is your field of expertise, and this is what you want to do, we are going to do everything we can to keep you in the field and to allow you opportunities to practice and get licensed to be able to fully function in Canadian society. So one other thing is that talking about language, we definitely have a number of different language classes, and includes pre-arrival. And regardless of how much English you speak, and Canada is bilingual country, which means for us that in Canada um, we have two official languages, English and French. In Nova Scotia, majority population speaks English, and English is primarily the language of services. So we do focus on offering English language classes, English as additional language. Um, and again, you can start joining those lessons and sessions even pre-arrival. And no matter what level you are, whether you are true beginner, never spoke English before, maybe know a little bit through songs and movies and whatnot, or you actually have a very professional level, you have done your business, you have communicated in English and so on, but you just want to make sure that your phrasing, your communication, the cultural piece of the language is appropriate for Canadian market and Canadian communication style. We definitely have language supports, whether you're just through beginner or you are focusing on your professional English, whether it's again preparing you as a nurse for your test or engineering language specific courses, or if it's language for work and business. So by all means, language is another very big concern for immigrants, to make sure that they're successful in their settlement process. Denise, do you mind commenting a little bit on health and healthcare, and also how that impacts or has anything to do with settlement in Nova Scotia?
Yeah, certainly those barriers in terms of health as well, because of course, certainly when someone's arriving, there's certainly that ask of how am I going to connect with healthcare, but also in particular, health is there's so many determinants of health as well too, and a balanced lifestyle. So how are you connecting not only with the community, but the things that interest you, the things that you love, potentially your family as well too. So as I mentioned about the orientation program, there is that overview and those ways of connecting with services that we have. If it's identified that there's certain links that you're looking in terms of healthcare, we can help you with that and assist you in those areas and kind of give that broader overview in terms of the healthcare system here, but also in terms of becoming more actively involved and involved in the community as well too. There's certainly a lot of activities both for families and for youth and for individuals. Moja had mentioned earlier in terms of how her first involvement with ISAN was with volunteering. Certainly we have volunteering opportunities, and for some that's a new concept in terms of offering that time in terms of program service, but is a really great way of becoming involved in the community, to practice language as we've discussed before too, to get to meet new people as well. And that's not necessarily just for yourself. You could be also volunteering in children's school. You could be volunteering, yourself with a family as well. So we do a lot of matching-based programs as well. So ISANS can assist with that as well too. We certainly have our own volunteer roles within our organization as well that we recruit,
Mm-hmm.
but we also do certainly support, individuals that want to volunteer in the community, how they can do that and how they can sign up. Yeah.
Yeah. And volunteer work, it makes wonders for many different levels of the settlement. This is how I actually personally worked on improving my language, just by getting myself involved and communicating and learning new vocabulary and style of speech.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time gaining Canadian experience so that I'm building my resume, and then I'm considered more employable, especially because I was fairly new graduate. I didn't have much of a previous experience overseas, so I cannot say I came as a professional with abundance of experience. I kind of sort of had to build my resume from the beginning. Volunteering is such a great way of getting involved in the community, learning your new community, your new space, making connections, making friendships, especially if you come alone, or you don't have any previous family members here or friends, and there may be time when you start feeling very isolated as an immigrant and lonely. So volunteering is such a great way of doing that, and making some of those connections for sure.
I just wanted to add, with immigration is a is a huge process. Like moving from your country to another country, you already achieved like an amazing goal. Like you have done something really a huge accomplishment. So this is the first one. Uh, the the system here is about working together to reach our goals. Like there are people who are coming with an expectation, and I was one of those people, that the organization will do everything for me. They will find me a job. They will get me into the system. They will prepare my resume. They will prepare, and they should be giving me a job. And this is a huge, like a very wrong, way of approaching this,
Assumption.
because it's an assumption, yeah, that like exactly that iSense is there, or whatever, even any Nova Scotia work centers or whatever. This is the place for me to get a job. They will give me a job. Nobody will give anybody a job. You are the bus driver who, like, if you are looking for a job, you have to work very closely with the people you are working with. We are here to support you. We bring you the expertise, we bring you the feedback, we connect you with employers, but at the end of the day, it's your job to convince this employer that you are the right fit, and it's your job to make sure that your job search is a process, and it's a full-time job. Like you can't be looking for a job today and wait for a month till you submit another resume. When you are job searching, you are waking up in the morning, you like as a full-time job. You get dressed, you sit beside you at your computer, and you start searching for jobs. You look for positions in your field, you target your resume to the job you are applying for, you write your cover letter, you research the company, and then you will see the fruitful result if you do it properly. But if you expect that the person or the service provider, whoever, like whether you're employment specialist or any your language instructor, etc., will give you a job, it's not going to happen. You have to be the driver of your career, and but please work with us on this, keep
Yeah.
the person who's working with you involved, because we are in contact with employers all the time. There are employers who are connecting with us and asking us, do you have this talent, do you have this skill? And that's where, when we know that you are a great candidate, you have prove to us that you are interested, and we can put our names behind you, we will definitely be sharing your resumes and your applications. At the end, of course, it's your duty to convince the employer that you are the right fit.
But
True.
yeah, it's a
And that
really
may
good
be
point,
different.
though.
Yeah.
I
And
was
that
just
may
saying
be
it's a really
different the
good
way
point. Yeah.
people, yeah, it is very good point. It may be different in how people look for jobs in their countries. But one of the important things is to learn how the Canadians look for work, because that's what employers are familiar with. And you're competing with other Canadians. So you have to be able. And these are all great things you two are talking about. But let's face it, it's COVID. Everybody's closed, wearing masks. We have to distance. Do people actually have jobs, find jobs, can volunteer, be in the community? What's happening now during COVID?
Yep. They are.
Good.
They definitely are. I know in the terms of volunteering and other pieces, yes, times of COVID and things have shifted. We've even shifted in terms of some of our deliveries, but you know what? The opportunities are still there, and certainly this may be very impactful in the long term as well too. But that doesn't mean that people are stopping. And Moja made a really valid, lots of valid points there, but a really valid point that this is, you have to look at this as your job. This is a full time piece of wanting to build those connections. You know, the supports are there for you, but you have to take the initiative of that and to guide that piece. And we want to support you to do that. In particular, with the volunteering side, that we've even seen that, you know, there were opportunities that were more virtual, so very online or via distance. That's shifting even more so, which is really great, both either being living here already or being pre-arrival, so possibly already making those connections before coming. But again, it's not necessarily the complete deterrent, because there's no reason why things can't start and continue. It just changes a little bit.
Yeah.
And just to add, with the looking for a job. Sorry, your question was about like, are there people finding jobs through
Just want
COVID-19?
people being hired during COVID.
Definitely, like and for our numbers, like I was just looking at the numbers from November till December, the end of December, and we had over 250 people who got into jobs, and those are the numbers that we captured. Like this doesn't mean that there aren't more clients who
More.
got into jobs, and the great thing that 80% of them are getting employment in their fields or the related fields. So that's one thing. But the other thing that the employers are more open to hiring immigrants, and there is a need. Like there is a need. We all the whole country, and in Nova Scotia also as well, they are looking at different ways of including diversity and inclusion as part of their hiring practices. More and more they want to have immigrants, they want to have African Nova Scotians, they want to have women in different roles, and they want to encourage youth to participate in so many programs. So the market is hungry for people, and it's hungry for people in different occupations, but all what it takes is to have the right attitude, the right preparation, the professional attitude towards looking for a job and getting in. The province is looking for so many clients in trades, in construction, in healthcare, whether you are in medical lab technology. Medical lab technology is there's a huge shortage, and the province is looking at different ways of bringing medical lab technologies to the province. There is a huge need for denturists. Nobody thought about denturists in the past. People were saying, what do you mean? Like there are no denturists? So there is like a growing, like a aging population when it comes to denturists and different other occupations, and we need you. We need you if you have those skills, whether it's nursing or in the healthcare field, in trades. We really need more people coming to the province and coming to the Atlantic region, for sure.
Thank you. I just want to give a quick shout out to Mayen. Mayen said good morning. She's watching from Philippines. So hello,
Oh,
Mayen. Thank you
hi.
for
Good
joining
morning.
us.
That's
Uh,
wonderful. Hi.
when you're talking about labor market needs, Moshe, we see are really high demand jobs. One of the programs, an immigration program that
Sorry, we lost you, Tanya.
Atlantic Immigrant Pilot Program. Um, oh, I'm so sorry. Just saying, when you mentioned labor market, it made me think of our AIPP program, which is Atlantic Immigrant Pilot Program. Comment more about what that is, who are the clients arriving, and what can ISANS do with AIPP participants?
Do you want to start with intake, or I can follow up with employment, and
Yeah,
that's good.
certainly. Yeah, I can certainly
Thank you.
start with the intake component. So our Atlantic Immigration Pilot Project. So those of you that are thinking about in terms of applying for that, we are able to do that. So that is a basis program here within the Atlantic region. So Nova Scotia being part of that. If you're arriving through that program or designated to arrive through that program, you can actually sign up through ISANS in terms of your initial settlement plan. If you're designated to Nova Scotia and going to be arriving here, we'll certainly continue that process. But you can actually sign up directly from our website through intake, as well through Settlement Online. So what would happen is that you would meet directly with what we call an intake counselor. They will do a needs assessment with you and guide you through your basis of your settlement plan. If you are, as I said, coming to Nova Scotia, there's the larger referral in terms of programs and services, both within ISANS and other parts of the province. But then also, if you are intending to be arriving into another province, we will connect you also with the settlement-based agencies there as well.
So, and I just want to mention as well that there are occupations, and Tanya spoke about the labor market demand. There is a huge demand for specific occupations, and if you go to the Nova Scotia Office of Immigration website and learn more about like what are what is the labor market demand? What kind of occupations are they recruiting for through the AIP program or the like labor market demand? Because there are two different programs. The AIP, you have to be chosen by an employer to hire you and they must offer you a job. Unfortunately, we can't work with you before you become designated. But once you become designated and the employer offers you a job, we can work with you and we can work with your family members as well. But if you are still trying to find a job, at this point, like it's really difficult for us to connect with you and to start offering you service. Saying that, we have seen so many clients who got accepted with employers, and as a result, their family members connected with us, and many of them got jobs at the same time as their spouses. So start the process and work with us on this one. The other thing I just wanted to highlight is to look at all Nova Scotia. Don't only look at Halifax. For example, Cape Breton Island is one. It's a beautiful spot. They are looking. They have projects worth $10 billion, and they need so many people to work in the construction field, in the healthcare field, in car.
Great.
Like, yeah, there are so many great opportunities, and now it's the time to start applying for your AIP. Whether like, and there is a list of employers. It's listed on Nova Scotia Office of Immigration website. Please access it, and when you access it, try to find more information about the company. Find out what are they looking for, what their activities are. Do your skills fit their needs, and then start connecting with them. And when you send them the resume, if they say yes, we would like to hire you, and you are in an occupation where you need to become certified, talk to us. If you are approved if you get a job offer and you get approved by the province, then talk to us and we will be able to help you in getting your certification started.
Exactly. And
Excellent.
as you
Yes,
said,
thank you
Moshe,
so
in
much.
terms of those other places, it's not just necessarily in Halifax. It's a big province. There's a lot of different regions, and this is certainly an opportunity. A lot of those employers are now coming on board with that piece. So certainly lots of great areas you can be thinking of.
Excellent. I also want to say hi to Rona. Hi, Rona.
Hi,
Um,
Rona.
Hello.
so
Good
Mayen
morning.
says 1000% I want to immigrate to Nova Scotia.
Yes.
She has been sending her resume since last year, but no reply from the companies. Rona, sorry, Mayen, there is a number of different reasons why that might not work out. Again, as we said, you are competing against other local talent. One suggestion I have is there is a video that we have taped a few weeks back, also one of the ISANS videos, and there was lots of great advice on job search and resume writing. Presenter was Cassidy Shaw. She is one of our job search facilitators, very knowledgeable. And in that video, she gave a lots of great input on how to properly job search and compete with Canadians. So definitely keep an eye on AIPP site. Make sure that your credentials, your skills, your competencies are what employers are looking for. And the biggest advice I have is target employers. You have to indicate in your application that you understand who this employer is, that you need to use their lingo when writing those cover letters and resumes, and present yourself as equally qualified and skilled to be able to do the particular job. So definitely, thank you for your question and good luck. I suggest that you definitely rewatch that video from few weeks back. You can find it here on East Coast Filipino portal, and it's also under ISANS. So, by all means, if you guys have any other questions, we'll be happy to answer. Denise and Moja, any final thoughts on any other programs or services that you think help clients settle better or easier or faster or more successful in Nova Scotia?
I can talk about the Atlantic Immigrant Career Loan Fund. I know I spoke a bit earlier about it, but this program is really good because it will just remove the financial constraints you have if you are preparing for your exams, or if you need training, you need to work in a trade and you need to buy safety gear and safety tools for your job. So feel if you are a landed immigrant and you are living in Nova Scotia or in the Atlantic region, please go to aiclf.ca and connect with us. Somebody will be in touch with you and we will help you in getting where you need to be. And look at the services that we offer, whatever your occupation is. Look at our website under Find Employment, and you will find tons of information about the services and programs we offer. If you have any questions, there is a chat box on the website where you can ask the question, and somebody will send you your question to the right person at ISANS to help you. So we want you to come to Nova Scotia. We really need more people, definitely in specific fields. But before that, be prepared. Like, try to get in touch with us, and we will be able to help you in your journey. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. Same thing. Take a look at what we have to offer. And as we said, we have a lot of pre-arrival based services, help with the job search component, but also in terms of the overall orientation as well too before you arrive. So yeah.
And if you're coming to Nova Scotia, don't be scared of the winter. This year is a wonderful, mellow, just around 0 degrees, maybe -5, not that bad. And trust me, I am talking as a Mediterranean girl who really enjoys her 40+ degrees Celsius summers. I don't get in Nova Scotia that, but Nova Scotia definitely reaches to enjoy.
Yeah.
When it comes to swimming in Atlantic, that's personal preference. Not my cup of coffee, but I know a lot of my children definitely do. Anyway, Nova Scotia is a wonderful province. There is a lots of people here who are happy to welcome you and help you settle successfully. And I know the jobs are a big part of that, and we definitely seek to help you and support you in gaining meaningful employment, not just any job, but job that you really at least feel you want to be in. And with all other additional supports, whether it's language or community involvement, or if you're more inclined to even look into being your own boss, opening your own business, certainly supports available help you through that process as well. I'll pause here and just see if there's any other questions online. We have our background guy, Joey, also checking other sites, anything there. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think that's it for now. Just to give you a quick update, we will not be coming back on a Thursday for a little while. By all means, there is number of different videos that we have already pre-taped on many different topics. So again, if you're an engineer, nurse, architect, if you want to know more about the loan, if you want to know about our pre-arrival services, about language services, about community services, about how to job search, we covered all of these topics. By all means, please go to East Coast Filipino portal, check out previously taped videos, rewatch them, get in contact with us, email us at employment_services@isans.ca, and let's start the conversation by all means. So we are happy to see you again on Thursdays, maybe some time in future, but for now, this is it. It was our pleasure coming to you, talking to you, seeing you. I see there is maybe one comment. Do we have until December 2021 to apply for AIPP? Would you know more about that, Moja?
I am not sure about this information. I think people can continue to apply, but they don't need to apply for the AIPP itself. They need to find a job with an employer, and once they get the contract, like, they can apply for the AIP. And I believe, like, Joey is a better person to talk about it, but
That's right.
yeah, as a designated, like, you have to find a designated employer who's hiring in your field, send your resume to get accepted into the job. And after that, definitely they will be, there is a process that you have to follow after that.
Correct.
Yeah. But if you look on the Nova Scotia Office of Immigration website, please, you will find additional information if you go to the AIPP program.
Yeah, and it'll state if there's a timetable to
Exactly,
that
whether it's.
application. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Thank you so much. Al is saying thank you so much, ISANS. Thank you, Al.
Thank you,
Anything else?
Al.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? And thank you, Joey, again in the background.
Thank you.
For those who don't know Joey, find him on the East Coast Filipino, because Joey is one of the immigration consultants. He'll be able to answer any other immigration questions by all means. Thank you,
Exactly.
Mary. Thank you all.
Thank
Yes,
thank you.
thank you
Have
very
a good
much.
night. Thank you.
And good day if you're starting your morning.
That's right.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care again. Thank you, Al.